Hey everyone, and welcome back to Speak English with Mishu. I'm Emily, and I'm so glad you're here with us today.
And I'm Liam. We're super excited about today's episode because it's about something powerful, something that can totally change how you learn English.
Before we jump in, Liam, how's your week been?
Honestly, pretty good. I've been trying something new with my English learning. I stopped focusing on speaking and grammar for a while and just started listening. A lot. And it's been amazing.
That's funny you say that because today's topic is exactly about that. We're talking about why listening might be the only skill you truly need to become fluent in English. Yes, really.
I know that sounds bold, but if you stick with us, you'll see how listening, just listening, can help you improve speaking, vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation, even confidence.
I used to struggle with speaking until I made one simple change. I listened to English every single day while walking, cooking, relaxing, and my fluency just exploded.
So, in today's episode, we're going to break it all down. We'll talk about why listening is so powerful, what problems learners face, the emotional side, and, of course, 4 practical solutions to build this skill.
Plus, we'll include a fun role play, vocabulary breakdown, and a motivational recap at the end. This is a full English learning experience, so stick around.
All right, let's get started, because today's episode might just change the way you learn forever. So, Emily, let's start by asking a big question. Why do we say listening is the most important skill in learning English? I mean, people always focus on speaking, reading, and grammar, right?
Right, but here's the truth. Listening is the foundation of everything. Think about how babies learn to talk. They don't start by reading grammar books. They listen for months before they ever say a word.
Exactly. And as adults, we sometimes forget how powerful that process is. Listening trains your brain to recognize words, sounds, and sentence patterns, even before you try to speak.
And here's something many learners don't realize. When you listen often, you start to feel the language. You understand how sentences flow, how intonation works, how words connect in real life.
It's like your brain is building an internal map of the language. Without listening, it's just memorizing words from paper. But with listening, it's like you're learning the music of English.
Well said, Liam. And there's something magical about it, too. When I started listening to English every day, podcasts, shows, songs, my speaking improved without me even trying. I was surprised by how naturally sentences came out.
And that's the beauty of it. You don't always have to study English to improve. Sometimes you just need to listen to real conversations, to natural voices, and let your brain absorb it.
Another benefit is vocabulary. The more you listen, the more words you hear in context. That means you remember them faster and understand how to use them naturally.
Yes, and it improves your grammar too. You start noticing sentence structures and verb tenses just by hearing them again and again. It becomes automatic.
So, in this episode, we're going to explore all of that. We'll talk about the real life problems learners face with listening, the emotional blocks, and the logical reasons why listening works. Then we'll give you 4 powerful strategies to use it effectively.
If you've ever felt stuck in your English journey, this episode is for you. So, let's keep going. In the next part, we'll talk about the real struggles learners face with listening and fluency.
And we promise you're not alone. Let's be honest. Listening sounds simple, but for most English learners, it's one of the hardest parts. So many people say, I understand when I read, but when someone speaks, I get lost.
Yes, and that's such a common frustration. You spend hours studying vocabulary and grammar, but when you watch a movie or talk to someone, it feels like you're hearing a different language.
Exactly. Native speakers talk fast. They blend their words, they use slang, and they don't speak like the textbook dialogues we learn from. That's what makes listening feel so hard at first.
Right. For example, you might learn, "What are you doing?" in class. But in real conversations, people say, "What you doing?" or what are you doing? And your brain's like, wait, what?
That moment of confusion can lead to panic. Your brain freezes, you miss the next sentence, and suddenly you're too nervous to ask, "Can you repeat that?"
And you know what else happens? Learners often feel embarrassed. They think, everyone else understands, why don't I? That self-doubt builds, and they stop practicing listening altogether.
Yes, that's the emotional side we need to talk about. Listening challenges aren't just about English, they affect confidence too. Some learners avoid real conversations because they're afraid they won't understand and look silly.
And that fear is real. When you feel like you're always behind in a conversation, it makes you hesitate. You start thinking too much. Instead of listening naturally, you're translating in your head and feeling pressure.
Exactly. So the problem isn't just, "I can't understand fast English." The deeper problem is, "I don't feel confident. I'm scared of not keeping up. I'm afraid of making mistakes."
But here's the truth. Every learner goes through this stage. It's not just you. Listening fluency takes time. It needs patience, repetition, and the right mindset.
And that's why we're here. We want to show you that there's nothing wrong with you. Your brain just needs more input, more English sounds, more real-world examples, so it can catch up and feel comfortable.
And we'll share strategies in this episode that can help you do that. Simple, effective ways to build your listening skill without pressure.
So don't worry if listening feels hard now. It won't stay that way forever. With the right approach, it becomes easier. And one day, you'll be listening to English and smiling because you understand almost everything.
Let's move on to the next part where we explore the emotional and logical reasons behind this struggle, why your brain reacts this way, and how we can train it differently. So now that we know listening is hard for so many learners, let's go deeper. Why does it actually feel so difficult? What's going on inside our brains?
Let's start with the emotional side. Imagine this. You're in a conversation. Someone is speaking English quickly. You miss one word, then another. Suddenly, your heart beats faster and your mind starts panicking.
Yes, that panic is real. It's like your brain goes, uh-oh, I'm lost. And instead of focusing, you start thinking, I can't do this. They're going to think I'm bad at English.
Exactly. That kind of fear creates a block. You stop listening. You stop processing. You shut down. Not because you're bad at English, but because anxiety gets in the way.
And when that happens often, it becomes a pattern. Every time someone speaks fast English, your brain expects confusion. You feel tense before the sentence even ends.
That's the emotional cause, and it's something many people never talk about. But now let's look at the logical, practical side. Why is listening hard even when you study?
Great point. One major reason is that spoken English is different from written English. In writing, words are spaced and clear, but in speaking, words connect and blend. Like, I'm going to eat becomes, I'm gonna eat. Did you see it becomes, did you see it?
And when you learn only from books, your brain isn't used to those sound patterns. So when you hear them in real time, your brain has to work harder, and sometimes it can't keep up.
Another reason is vocabulary. We often think we've learned a word when we can recognize it on paper. But if you've never heard it spoken, your brain won't recognize it when it's said quickly in a sentence.
Yes, and even if you do know the word, your brain might not catch it when it's spoken with a new accent or shortened or said quickly. That takes listening practice, not just memorization.
Let's not forget attention span. Listening is live. It's real time. You don't have time to pause and think like when you're reading. If your focus slips even for 2 seconds, you miss important information.
And finally, there's the problem of translation mode. Many learners listen to English and try to translate it into their first language in real time. That slows down the brain and creates delay.
Exactly! Your brain is doing too much at once. Listening, translating, understanding. No wonder it gets tired fast.
So, to sum up, emotionally, fear and panic block your listening. Logically, English sounds different in speech. Vocabulary feels unfamiliar when heard. Attention is hard to keep, and translation slows you down.
But here's the good news. Your brain can be trained. These are skills, not permanent problems. With the right kind of listening practice, you can overcome all of these blocks.
And we're about to show you how. In the next part, we'll share the first practical solution to unlock your listening power. And it starts with your morning routine.
Let's do it. Let's jump into our first practical solution. Start your day with focused English listening. It might sound simple, but this habit can completely change how your brain processes the language.
Exactly. The morning is when your brain is fresh, calm, and most ready to learn. If you give it the right kind of English input early in the day, it sets the tone for everything that follows.
Think of it like brushing your teeth, but for your brain. If the first thing your mind hears is English, it starts tuning your ears and thinking patterns toward the language.
So, what kind of listening should you do in the morning? Well, we suggest starting with slow, clear, and natural English content. You don't need anything too advanced, just something that's easy to follow and feels enjoyable.
Right. You could use a short podcast, like this one, or a YouTube video made for learners. Even 5 to 10 minutes is enough to warm up your ears.
You can even combine it with your morning routine. For example, listen while making breakfast, brushing your teeth, or stretching. That way, you're building a habit without needing extra time.
Let's do a quick mini practice with our listeners right now. I'll say a few simple morning routine sentences slowly, and you can repeat after me. I wake up at 7 a.m. I stretch my arms. I brush my teeth. I make a cup of tea. I listen to English every morning.
Now, let's say them together. Repeat with us. I wake up at 7 a.m. I stretch my arms. I brush my teeth. I make a cup of tea. I listen to English every morning.
Great! Doing this every morning helps your brain wake up in English mode. Over time, you'll notice that English sounds start to feel more familiar and easier to understand.
Another tip, don't try to understand everything in the morning. Just enjoy the rhythm, the pronunciation, and the natural way words are used. It's okay if you don't catch every word.
This kind of easy listening builds listening stamina. Your brain gets used to following spoken English without pressure, which helps you stay relaxed in real conversations later.
And if you hear a word or phrase that stands out, feel free to write it down. Just 1 or 2 words a day can add up over time.
So remember, start your day in English. Make it a habit. Use simple listening, combine it with your routine, and let your brain warm up in the language.
In the next part, we'll show you how to use your everyday life to keep that listening going, even when you're busy.
Let's keep the momentum going.
So, Liam, we've talked about starting the day with focused listening. But what about the rest of the day? Many learners think they need free time to study, but actually, your daily routine is the perfect listening classroom.
So far, we've talked about focused listening in the morning and using your daily routine as practice. Now, let's talk about passive listening, a powerful way to train your ears without even realizing it.
Exactly. Passive listening means playing English in the background during your normal activities. You're not sitting and studying, you're just letting English flow into your environment naturally.
Think of it like background music. You're not concentrating hard on every word, but your brain is still absorbing sounds, rhythms, and sentence structure.
Here's how it works. Let's say you're cleaning your room. Instead of silence or music in your native language, you play an English podcast or audiobook. You're not studying, but your brain is listening.
And this matters more than you think. The more your ears hear English, the more your brain becomes comfortable with the sound of it. Over time, it reduces fear, increases familiarity, and builds fluency.
When I first started learning English, I had English playing almost all day when I was doing chores, walking outside, or even relaxing. At first, I didn't understand much, but after a few weeks, I started recognizing more words and phrases without even trying.
That's the key. Repetition without stress. Your brain hears phrases again and again, and one day you suddenly realize, hey, I understand that.
And don't worry if you feel lost in the beginning. That's normal. Just let the English flow like background noise. You don't need to catch every word.
It's also great for building accent awareness. If you listen to different speakers, American, British, Australian, you begin to notice the small changes in pronunciation. That makes you a stronger listener in any situation.
Another idea is to create an English playlist. Add podcasts, music, or videos you enjoy. Press play while you're commuting, cooking, or doing something repetitive.
Even when you're tired or distracted, passive listening works. It's like training your brain while relaxing. No pressure, just consistent exposure.
Let's give a few suggestions for what to listen to passively. Beginner podcasts like this one, English YouTube channels for learners, audiobooks with simple stories, TV shows or cartoons with clear speech.
Yes, and one bonus tip, listen to the same episode multiple times. The first time, you understand a little. The second time, you understand more. By the third time, you'll be surprised at how much you've learned.
So, to all our listeners, try adding passive listening to your life today. Choose one activity, maybe doing dishes or walking, and add English to it.
In the next part, we'll talk about what to do when you don't understand something. Because, let's be honest, that happens to everyone.
And it's totally okay. We'll show you how to deal with it smartly and calmly. Stay with us. Now, Liam, let's be real. No matter how much someone listens, there will be moments when they just don't get it. The speaker is too fast, the words sound unclear, or the accent is new. What should they do?
It happens to everyone, even advanced learners. So the first thing you do is stay calm. Don't panic. It's totally normal not to catch everything.
Exactly. Many learners freeze when they miss a word, but you don't need to understand 100% to get the meaning. Focus on the key words. Often, those give you enough information.
Let's say you hear, "So, I went downtown and grabbed a quick bite before heading back." Maybe you don't know "grabbed a quick bite," but if you hear "went downtown" and "heading back," you understand the general idea. Someone went out, ate, and returned.
Yes, that's called listening for context. It's like using clues to complete the puzzle. You don't need every piece, you just need the shape of the picture.
Now, when you're practicing with a podcast or a video and you hear something confusing, pause and rewind. Go back 5 to 10 seconds. Listen again.
And here's a tip. Try shadowing. That means you repeat what you hear, even if you don't understand every word. Just copy the rhythm and pronunciation. It helps train your ears.
Also, use subtitles or transcripts if they're available. Watch once without them, then watch again with subtitles to check your understanding. It's a great way to train your ears and eyes together.
Sometimes I pause the video, write down the sentence I didn't understand, and look it up later. I don't stop and get upset. I just see it as a small mystery to solve.
Another helpful thing is to slow down the audio. Many apps and video platforms allow you to play content at 0.75x or even 0.5x speed. It helps your brain catch every sound more clearly.
Exactly. And over time, you'll need that slow speed less and less. Your brain becomes quicker at recognizing the natural pace of English.
One final piece of advice: don't translate in your head. That slows you down and makes listening harder. Instead, train your brain to think in English by focusing on the message, not the individual words.
So, let's summarize. Don't panic. Focus on keywords and context. Pause, rewind, and shadow. Use subtitles and transcripts if they're available. Slow the speed if needed. Don't translate, just listen and feel.
Listening is not about perfection, it's about progress. And every time you handle confusion with calm and curiosity, you become a better listener.
Coming up next, we'll show you how to apply everything we've discussed in a real conversation between us.
A little role play you can listen to, repeat, and learn from.
It's practice time, so stay with us. All right, now it's time to bring everything together. Liam and I will do a simple role play and everyday conversation in natural, slow English. While you listen, focus on the tone, sentence structure, and pronunciation.
You can also repeat after us or shadow our sentences. It's okay if you don't catch every word the first time. Listen once, then go back and listen again if you want.
All right, Liam, let's begin. I'll start. Hey, Liam, how was your morning today?
Hey, Emily, my morning was good. I woke up around 6:30, made some coffee, and listened to an English podcast while I was stretching.
That sounds relaxing. What podcast did you listen to?
It was a short story in English. The speaker talked slowly, and I tried to repeat some sentences. It really helped me wake up my brain.
Nice. I did something similar. While making breakfast, I listened to a YouTube video about learning habits. The speaker had a British accent, so I had to focus more.
British accents are tricky at first, but the more you hear them, the easier it gets. Did you understand most of it?
Not everything. Some parts were fast, but I paused and rewound a few times. I even wrote down a new phrase: stick to a routine.
That's a good one. I hear that in podcasts all the time. If you want progress, you have to stick to a routine.
Exactly. After breakfast, I went for a walk and played an audio story on my phone. I wasn't fully focused, but I let the words play in the background.
Perfect passive listening. I do that when I clean my room. Even if I'm not concentrating, my brain still hears and learns.
So, what's your plan for later today? More listening practice?
Yes, I'll probably watch a short documentary with English subtitles. I like hearing new vocabulary in real-life topics.
Great idea. I think I'll do the same. It's amazing how many listening opportunities we can create in a normal day.
Absolutely. You don't need special lessons. Just ears open and English flowing into your life.
All right, listeners, now it's your turn. Try having a similar conversation out loud about your day, your habits, or even what you just heard here.
Talk to yourself, record your voice, or shadow our conversation. Just keep your ears and mind active.
All right, next we'll go over some useful vocabulary and phrases we used in our dialogue, so stay tuned. Welcome back. Now let's look at some important words and phrases from our conversation. Understanding these will help you use English more naturally.
First up, stick to a routine. This means to follow a regular plan every day. For example, if you want to improve, you must stick to a routine. Say it with us. Stick to a routine.
Next is wake up. It means to stop sleeping. Example, I wake up at 6:30 every morning.
Here's another phrase. Make coffee. It means to prepare coffee. I make coffee before breakfast.
We also said pause and rewind. Pause means to stop temporarily, and rewind means to go back. Example, if you don't understand, pause and rewind the video.
Good one. How about passive listening? It means listening without focusing too much, like playing English in the background.
And repeat after me. This is a common phrase for practicing speaking by copying someone else. For example, repeat after me. I'm learning English.
One more. Tricky. It means something is difficult or hard to understand. Like, British accents can be tricky at first.
Great job! Now try making your own sentences with these words and phrases. Practicing helps your brain remember them better.
If you want, write your sentences in the comments below. We'd love to see your examples.
And keep listening for these words in podcasts, videos, and conversations. That's how vocabulary sticks.
Up next is our final part, the motivational recap and call to action. Stay tuned.
We're coming to the end of today's episode, and I want to remind you how powerful listening is. It truly is the key skill that unlocks all the others: speaking, vocabulary, grammar, and confidence.
That's right. If you focus on listening every day, whether through focused practice or passive listening, you'll see your English improve faster than you expect.
Remember, it's normal to struggle at first. The important thing is to keep going, stay patient, and enjoy the journey.
If you ever feel stuck, go back to the basics. Start your day with simple listening, use your daily routine, surround yourself in English, and handle confusion calmly.
And don't forget to practice speaking too. Repeat what you hear, shadow conversations, and try role plays like we did today.
We believe in you and your English journey. Every minute you spend listening is an investment in your future fluency.
If you liked today's episode, please subscribe to Speak English with Mishu. Share this episode with friends who want to improve their English too.
And leave a comment below. Tell us how you practice listening or what topics you want us to cover next.
Thank you so much for spending this time with us. Keep listening, keep practicing, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Take care and have a great day.
Bye.